So this is the iconography icon of Maa Kamakhya deity. Okay. Now, in this, you'll see that there's a lion. On that, there is a white person. Okay.
It looks like Shiva.
I'll explain. And then there is a lotus. And on that, she is sitting. Okay. So here, the lion is actually Vishnu. He takes up the form of a lion. Okay. And that is Shiva, who takes up the form of like a pret. Like he becomes like a pret. Okay.
A ghost.
Preta. But it's Shiva actually. And it's called Pretasana. And on that, there is the lotus. That is Brahma. On that sits Kamakhya. And these three beings, the lion, the Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara, this is the mountain. The mountain itself is these three beings. And also Bhairava. And on top of that is Kamakhya. Wow. She has 6 faces, okay, and 12 arms. And there are a lot of weapons in there. And here in this iconography, they are shown Brahma and Vishnu this side, just to make it understanding to people. But there is also, there are other iconographies described as Lakshmi and Saraswati, or Matangi and Kamalatmika, 2 other Mahavidyas. They sit right next to her and keep looking at her. And these are all spiritually significant, by the way. It's not randomly done. So this iconography of the mother, which means that the hill itself is sacred, because the hill is the asana. These are the 3 deities on the hill. Okay. And on that is Devi Kamakhya, who has 6 faces. These 6 faces are 6 forms of the mother, and they have their own tantra and their paddhatis.
Each of the faces.
And which means that you can approach her through any of these forms. She can be approached as Chamunda, she can be approached as Durga, she can be approached as Kameshwari, she can be approached as Tripur Sundari. In some sampradayas, she is worshipped as Aghora Kali. Okay. And then in the standard paddhati in which the priests worship her, she is worshipped as Tripur Sundari. Okay. This is Kamakhya. She is this collective of all these deities, and yet when you go enter into the put Kamakhya Temple, so you won't have a picture of the Garbhagriha because the photos are not allowed there, but just put Kamakhya Temple. So that first dome that you can see
on the left,
first one, yes, this one. So right under this is the Garbhagriha.
Gotcha.
Of the mother. Okay. And this is the Nat Mandir, where various puja part etc. happens. Right next to it, there's a smaller dome, you can see. That is where the Utsav Murti is kept. There's a Vigraha also of Kameshwar. Okay, that is kept there, which itself is many centuries old. The Yogini Tantra mentions that Vigraha is very powerful and you know what to do and things like that. And the main thing is, inside that first dome, there is an underground cave. In that cave, there is a natural formation of a yoni, and there is a water that comes out. Okay, the texts also describe that inside there are Ashtabhairavas carved around in that cave, and there is a Shivalinga also somewhere.
We won't be able to find images of
it. No photo is allowed inside the sanctum. So all these other photos that you see claiming to be Kamakhya are not Kamakhya actually. So people have just randomly put them. The thing is, people go inside that Garbhagriha, inside that first dome, and you take some water from that spring and you drink that water and sprinkle on your head. That is called Sparsha Darshan. The most important thing in Kamakhya is Sparsha Darshan, not just Namaskar. Other places you go and do Namaskar. Here you have to drink that water. That water, the moment you take in that water, you sprinkle on your head and all that. That is the worship of the mother. That is the first thing. That is the darshan of the mother is complete.
Keeping little geology in mind, where is that water coming from?
There is an underground perennial source of water in the hill.
Somewhere inside the hill.
Yes. And now, see, this is not Kamakhya actually. So this somebody has created in the net. Very easily people think that this is Kamakhya Temple specifically. But inside the Garbhagriha, there are no photos.